Hey, welcome back to Milton Daily Homes. Chuck here, and I'm a little bit sick, so you can hear that in my voice. What's interesting is the mapping function. There's one that's mapped. It's in Dorset Park, and it's actually mapped all the way over in Ottawa. So it's interesting. Little details like that can have a significant effect on the marketing of the property. And I wonder because it's been around for a while. We'll talk a little bit more about it. But let's get to Darkwood, which is the first one. It's at 1.9. And so inside, you'll see better homes for this kind of price. It's on 95 acres, which is really where the majority of the value lays. You've got your pool here. You also have a pond. You have a horse track. So there's things that they haven't showed in these pictures. There's a tennis court. So there's a lot of things that that I think with this one are sort of more than meets the eye, and it would be one that you obviously have to check out. Anything over $1 million, pretty much, is like you have to kind of get out and see it. I mean, if it resembles what you're looking for, if you wanted that big piece of land, you go and check it out. So Pitfield is $259. Probably one of the lowest condo townhouse prices in town, possibly the lowest, and it's a 3-bedroom, 2-washroom, including one full bathroom on the top floor. And so some of the ones in Pitfield back onto Ontario, so that obviously affects the value. With some decluttering, they could have really changed the appearance. They could have taken the border off and just simplified. Painting the cabinets is a simple thing that if you leverage some of those tools, you can oftentimes find yourself on the better part of pricing and actually multiplying the money that you spend in those investments. So it's small. It needs some work. I would say that if you put 20 grand into this one, would it be worth around 259 plus 20? Yeah, probably something like that. So it's not a super deal in my eyes, but it's going to attract interest because it's cheap. It's inexpensive, I should say, compared to the competition. It's not cheap in the sense that you get what I'm saying. So Wilmot is 369. It's a townhouse. Now it's got that California look with tiles throughout pretty much the entire main floor. And it can be a little cold on the feet, but I think that they've got some nice finishes and upgrades in here. And I think they've priced it appropriately too. I mean, it's got your 2 full bathrooms upstairs. One of the cheaper options to, I'm using the word cheap again, one of the least expensive options to get those 2 full bathrooms up on the 2nd floor. And then there's a nice one here on Barclay, and it's a couple doors down from a park. It doesn't face onto Thompson. It's on the part of Barclay on the north side, backing onto to homes actually. So there's no danger in the front or back. You've got some hardwood floors here, and you've also have a finished basement too, and the 2 full bathrooms upstairs. I think this is a great deal. I think this is a really, really strong contender for one of the better picks of the day. Guelph line is at 424.9, so you're on probably the better part of about half an acre. And so inside they've done some work. You'll find with a fix and flip like this, there's either going to be really good work or it's not going to be so good. It's funny because they did half of the house, but they didn't do the other half. And I would think that doing the work in here would probably pay off double because it would actually help enhance the appearance of the kitchen. You either go full tilt on a flip or you don't, and I think that that's a decision you've got to make when you flip a home. You can't do a renoed kitchen plus an original bathroom. It just doesn't work. 424 for the size of the land and the size of the house isn't too bad at all. It's only a 2-bedroom though. That might pull some buyers away. 620 Ferguson, number 46, is at 429. So you look at equivalent value. This one's just a little bit over 1,500 square feet, plus a finished basement backing onto green space. So you figure, it looks okay. It's not crazy upgraded. It's got some crown moldings, but the counters are still the Formica, and a bit of landscaping outside. So you figure the value backing onto forest, like how much more would a buyer pay? Usually it's somewhere between $5,000 to as high as maybe $20,000 in value. Figure a finished basement, how much more would someone pay? Usually it's in around the 10 mark, plus or minus. So you look and you scale that back and say, would this home sell for around $400 if it didn't have those things? And we have seen end unit townhouses around that size selling for that price. So I think it is in a fair range. Long story short, I think that they've chosen a number that could work. They start to compete with semi-detached in this price range, but I think that they do have some nice features to offer. Now, there's also about a $60 fee a month for garbage and snow removal, so you add that onto your carrying cost, it would be like buying that one for $439. Lamont's at 434.9, and so we've got. I originally when I saw this, I thought, does it side onto dairy? Because there are some parts of Lamont that do. It doesn't. It actually sides onto about 4 townhomes that are perpendicular to this one, and so the finishes look good. It would certainly break the record. We don't see a lot of these. There's some on Chapman. There's some on Lamont. The finishes, the colors all look nice, and you've got some extra wide yard space. There's the walkout from the basement there. That's the door from the laundry, and then you've got your second floor, which is your living, above the garage, and then you have your bedrooms. It's almost like a 2.5-story kind of thing. It's a lot of space, about 1,800 square feet. I actually don't think they're that far off here. I think they've got a a good price, and they're definitely going to be the highest sale we've ever seen. And it's one of the better looking ones for that model that I've seen ever in the past. So Haxton Heights is 434.9. It's a Mattamy Hillsview, and so you've got carpet in here. You've got the upgraded package for the kitchen. That they call this the chef's kitchen, I think. Granite countertops. The cabinets to me just are that sort of modern facing. I don't find they look very expensive. I'd be surprised if they got this one, especially not being an end unit. It's a little high on the price for me. So Willow is at 459. They were up, I think, around 480, and I'm surprised they're not sold. I wonder if it's because they're mapped out in Ottawa, if people aren't actually able to see this. And so the agents would be able to plug this into an email and send it to the clients, but the public may not be able to see. Now, I want to talk about the front appearance, because the really handy thing if you've got older relatives, and I think a lot of us, our parents are getting older, you have the ability to enter directly from the basement from your garage. Okay, so this can be a little bit annoying when it's icy on the driveway, but there's usually a little drain at the bottom here. You have to sometimes take care of that, make sure it's not clogged. But the nice thing is you've got direct access to the home from the basement, and then you can also come up here and get in through the front door. So very handy for older relatives. You could have a separate suite down there without really a lot of stairs. So kitchen looks like it's had some work done. It would be easy to just put a final touch on there with some hardwood floors, and then you get a really nice backyard. So I think this one's a really good deal. I'm surprised it's not sold. I don't know. I haven't seen it in person, so I don't know if there's a hidden story there, but it looks like it looks fantastic. So Bennett is 469. Detached home, we know it's somewhere in the 1,500 to 2,000 square foot range. So it's a Mattamy house. That's all I really know. I don't know which model this one is. Fourth line, it would be something similar to this one on fourth line, plus or minus, probably minus a couple hundred square feet. This one's about 1,900 square feet, right within the range where they usually sell for on fourth line. Fourth line can be a busier street. You do not face homes directly. You've got the ravine behind. You've got the library just down the road. So it's a pretty good location for access to things like even Hawthorne Village Public School, the Catholic School, Guardian Angels. So there's some good access of things nearby. The high school's just down the road from here. Fasken is a larger semi. It's more than 2,000 square feet. You've got almost like a cherry wood floor here. Pretty open concept main floor layout. You've got 4 big bedrooms upstairs. To me, I look at 480 and I think, man, like what else could you buy? You could buy a detached home, a couple hundred square feet bigger, still with 4 bedrooms. So functionally, it's still the same space. But maybe your rooms are 10 by 11 instead of 11 by 13 kind of thing. So I really think that there's equivalent value elsewhere that would certainly bring buyers. It would bring them away from maybe this one. Now Mockridge is 494.5. I don't recognize the model offhand. It's a Mattamy home for sure, and I'm not sure the size. It says it's between 1,500 and 2,000 square feet. We've got this one on Rule, which is a Plan 5 corner. It's 1,624 square feet, and it's a little bit high. I don't know why they need 2 bed shots for each of the bedrooms. You're living in dirt basically, and yeah, it's it's okay. It's not that far off. It's good that the first number starts with a 4. Costing is at 519. Lots of pride of ownership on this one here. Very open concept layout. What happens on a 36-foot lot is you can't really get a lot of living area until you get past the garage. But it's nice and open on the main floor. There's 3 bedrooms upstairs, and then you've got a finished basement, and you get a ton of landscaping here. So for those reasons, I think they've probably changed the garage door. They've done a lot of little things here that I think enhance the value and the appeal, and it's certainly move-in ready. The finished basement, this one gets a passing grade. For sure. There are some people that don't like the busier street Costigan, but this part of Costigan is a little bit quieter. We've got Twist Road here, 2 acres, 560, so you're looking at about 280 an acre, which seems a little bit high. There have been some sales recently, even private sales, that have gone over 3, but it's mostly been in those development lands. And then you've got the escarpment commission on top of this one that you've got some restrictions possibly through there. So if you go to escarpment.org, you can actually look at the maps and see what kind of zone this one is in. And so Whaley Way is at 570. And so it's a Mattamy house. It's usually about 2,400 square feet. I can't tell the model from these pictures. They've done some nice upgrades, and we've seen that there's a Fieldgate model called the Chester, and the Chester always seems to sell in the high 5s, and they're not as upgraded as this one here. So I think that these ones have almost had a little bit of a the value has kind of stayed a little bit low. I wouldn't be surprised if these guys sold at 570 for a 3-bedroom. That might be the thing that that pulls people away, is not having the 4th bedroom. Does that change the value a lot? The value is more a function of the size of the home and the finishes and the location than it is whether or not it has 3 or 4 bedrooms. I get that question a lot. Well, it's 4 bedrooms. Doesn't change the value a lot. There are some people that need the 4, so you appeal to a little bit more of an audience, but there's always people that want a larger 3-bedroom compared to a 4-bedroom. So the high side, nice listing here. It's the same layout as you'd see on Valley View. There were some homes built on Valley View, and there's some nice finishes. It looks pretty private here. The yard is nice, and we saw some stuff on Valley View, same model as this, or very similar, that sold for low 5s, and they needed a lot of work. So I know that there's some furniture in here that might indicate the person living there is a little bit older, but I'll tell you one thing is, we talked about this last week, is you cannot fake pride of ownership. It shines through. So this one looks like it's been kept very well. We've got Hem Street with no pictures. It's a private sale. It's 600,000, 4-bedroom, 4-washroom with a finished basement. And beyond that, I don't know a lot about it. You could probably go online and type in the address and find the virtual tour. Randall looks great too, 649. It's not on a, we call it dangerous part of Randall. I call it dangerous from a value standpoint of backing onto a main road. But you've got a renovated kitchen. You've got what looks like a pretty large finished basement, and then you've got a little bit of a sunroom. Not sure if it's a 3-season or 4-season room, and probably not a lot of grass in the back, but I think that it looks like the value's there on this one here. 55 by 120 foot lot. We got none court at 679. It's a really nice floor plan. Hazelnut. It's around 2,800 square feet. Bit of a lighter color scheme, which is nice because sometimes you see the dark all the time. This one has a little bit more. It's just a little different than what you see out there. There's hardwood throughout the whole house. It's bamboo flooring, and then you've got a bit of a wider lot too. Maybe a little bit high on the price given what else is out there. Even thinking about the one Lesage that we profiled last week at 649 for around the same size, even a little bit bigger. Nice layout. You've got a little breakfast area that's off on a. It's almost like a turret there where the breakfast area is. It's nice. Now Maple. I didn't think there was actually homes built on Maple, but it sounds like these ones are brand new. So I'll show you the lot here. So it's right on Maple, around the bend on Fox. So you've got Maple Crossing condos just south of here, and then you've got the commercial stuff just around the bend on Maple too. So it's got a lot of stuff close by, easy access to the 401, but I would guess that this actual part of the land, like that back part, is probably no more than 5 or 10 feet. So it's a really strange lot. Like you've got a little bit of a side yard here. You've got these little pockets. I don't know, I think it's 700. These guys are less than 3,000 square feet. Nice high ceilings on the main floor. I'm not sure how, and then yeah, you've got kind of a laneway access, and it's puzzling. I'm not really sure what to think about this property. So if the garage is truly away from the house, what that does is it opens up the floor plan. You get a bit more of an open main floor instead of that L shape. But it's I think the location, it is a busier street for sure. 715 initially seems a little bit high to me. You've got Mickey Court at 899. It's one of the only homes from a builder that's more than 4,000 square feet. It's a Mattamy home, and I look at this and I think, would that I don't know if that yellow color would be the best color to showcase this home. I think they put a lot of work into this one, a lot of money, but the yellow never seems to be a power color in listings, and it's throughout the whole house. And then you've got a pie-shaped lot as well. So the big thing about pie-shaped lots, from my experience, they have value, but the big thing that a lot of people want is privacy. They want something behind where there's no neighbors looking into their business. I'd be surprised if these guys got $899 for this one. Now, Etherington is it's a Royal Fern model. We're hopping over to the other real estate board, and so it's got a nice kitchen. It doesn't have hardwood floors, but it's a good layout on the main floor. 3 bedrooms upstairs plus a little loft area at the top of the stairs, and you get some good looks of the actual layout of this home. A bit of upgrading upstairs in the bathrooms, then you got a finished basement. Homes that have sold this exact model with a finished basement, really nice one sold a couple months ago for around this kind of price. They're probably not that far off, but I don't think they'll get it because they're just not as upgraded as the one that did sell around that 570 mark. So Houston doesn't have any photos. It's a semi-detached, and then it's got a finished basement as well. 4 bedrooms, 429 could work. The finished basement could be a bonus above what you can get from some of the Mattamy homes. And then Pringle is so it's one of those Mattamy ones that are right on the escarpment, right on the tip. It's actually closer. It's in this little triangle wedge, so it's not mapped there. They've got the stucco. They look fancy. They got the 8-foot doors. Pretty open concept floor plan. They're saying it's linked by the garage, but if you're going to pay almost $700,000, do you want to be linked at all? It's the real question. The bonus you get with something like this is that you get the trees behind. You get a bit of privacy. So like we said, I mean, there's comparing this one to something like Maple, if you can live with being attached, you get a lot more features, I think, for even $40,000 less. So that's the list for today. If you have any questions, give us a call, and we'd be glad to help you. You can meet us at Starbucks. You can come to a buyer class. We're just about to finalize the date for July. I think it'll be the 20th or the 27th. And then you can also come on a tour of homes and go see what Milton has to offer and the kinds of homes in your price range. So have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.